Hey folks, it's John with KGTropicals.com, bringing you episode 3 in the ultimate guide to your first aquarium. And in today's episode, we're going to talk about selecting the right equipment for your first aquarium. So let's get right into it. When it comes to setting up your first aquarium and selecting the right equipment to buy, it can be a bit overwhelming, but I'm going to try to keep things very simple in this video. I'm going to give you my recommendations for the things that I think you should buy. Let's keep it simple. Let's not get frustrated. Let's have fun with this. So I'm assuming that you've already decided what type of fish that you want because you watched episode number 2, and that decision has led you to know what size tank you should be setting up. But for the purposes of this video, I'm going to keep things simple and I'm going to use what I believe is the best size aquarium for the beginner. It's great for the home because it won't overpower a room and it's big enough to give you plenty of options, and that's a 55-gallon aquarium. If you'd like to know more about my thoughts on why a 55-gallon is the best choice for a beginner, why don't you take a look at my blog that I put up on August 15th on KGTropicals.com. I'll put a link at the very top of the description below. Check that out. I think you'll see that I make a pretty good argument. Now for this video, I'm going to talk about the bare bones essentials, the things that you must have in order to start up your first aquarium. Those things are the tank and stand, filtration, lids, lights, a heater, and an air pump. Now there's plenty of other things, gadgets and things that you can put in the aquarium, but we're just talking about what I believe is the most important things that you need. So let's get right into it. Let's talk about each individual item. Now, before we break those things down individually, I do want to mention that there are some really nice starter kits out there where you can basically buy everything in a box. I'm going to do my best to put a link in the description to one of those kits right now. You can get everything in a box. The tank, filter, lids, lights, almost everything I just read to you with the exception of the stand, all in one package. Sometimes you even save a couple of dollars doing it that way. These are great systems. If I was going to recommend to you the one that I think is best, I would refer you to the Marineland LED systems. Great lights. They come with the penguin filter, which I love so much. Comes with everything. It's not just a starter kit, and it's not a beginner's kit. It's kind of like a complete kit for someone who really knows what they're doing. So if you're going to go for one of those starter kits, I'd go for one of those and get as big a tank as you can. So the first thing we're going to talk about is the tank. Now you really only have a couple of options, glass and acrylic. We're not going to talk about building your own aquarium because we're beginners here, right? So we're just going to go for what's readily available. And those are going to be glass and acrylic. Now, if you want my recommendation on what is best for the beginner, I would tell you to go for a glass aquarium. Don't turn your friend down if he has an acrylic that he's willing to give to you. That's fine. But if you're going to the store to buy all of this stuff brand new, or if you're going to order it from my website, I would go for glass. It's readily available, and it's usually a lot cheaper than acrylic. The next thing to talk about is the stand. I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time on this because stands are everywhere, and people use furniture. They use all different types of stuff as aquarium stands. You might want to go to the store and buy a brand new one. You might want to watch this video where I show you how to build one very cheap, or you might want to use an old piece of furniture or something like that. There's tons of options out there. A stand is a stand, and I don't really think that one is better than the other. So pick something nice, something that you think is going to fit in your room, and go with that. The next thing to talk about is your aquarium's life support system. The filter. This is one of the most important decisions that you're going to make when you're setting up your aquarium, so don't go cheap. Let's do this right. You have a few different options. We're going to go over each one, and they all work. They all work fine. It just depends on how far you want to go with it. Now, your first option is a sponge filter. These are very simple filters. They run off of an air pump, very easy to set up, very easy to maintain. I don't know if I would use them in larger tanks, but if you have a very limited budget, you can use a couple of sponge filters and it will do the job. But let's talk about a better option. The next is hang on the back filters. Now, these are pretty self-explanatory. They hang off of the back of your tank. They have a tube that goes down into the tank to suck the water up into it, filter it, and then through gravity, it dumps over the side into your aquarium. These are very efficient. They're probably the most common filters in the hobby, and you can pick them up just about anywhere. So for the beginner, I think this is your best choice. The next is a canister filter. Now these, in my opinion, unless you're going to go with the last option, they're the most efficient way to go. They are absolutely silent. You have a lot of options of things that you can put into these filters to help keep the water cleaner and just filter it better. So canister filters, they're great, but they are a little bit more expensive. So if you're on a limited budget, let's stick with option 2. But if you have the money, a canister filter is the way to go. The last option when it comes to filters that we're going to talk about is a sump. Now this is a massive system that'll sit underneath your aquarium, and let me tell you, they're extremely efficient, but I would keep it more for the advanced hobbyist because of all the different things that you can do. Now there's endless options of things that you can do with a sump system, but let's get the hang of this hobby first. Let's understand what we're doing a little bit before we move in to something like that. The next item that you're going to need to get off of your list is a heater. Now this is pretty simple, folks. It's usually a glass cylinder that goes down into the aquarium. It attaches to the glass with suction cups. I'm going to show you that in the next episode. But this is what's going to keep your water at the temperature that's ideal for your fish. Now understand that you need 5 watts per gallon of water in your aquarium. So when you go to get your heater, make sure you get one that is the proper wattage for your size tank. You don't want to put one in that's too small and it has to work way too hard to keep the water up. Your electric bill will go whew. So 5 watts per gallon. I don't have any particular allegiance to a brand. I like the heaters from Fluval. I like the heaters from Marineland. But there's tons of brands out there. I'll make sure there's links in the description to some of my favorites. Now something to add to the heater that I didn't mention in the beginning is a thermometer. Again, common sense. If you're going to buy a starter kit, it should come with one. But you're going to want to keep an eye on what your tank's temperature is. Most of the heaters out there won't tell you, so get yourself a nice thermometer too. The next thing to talk about is lids. You've only got a couple of different options here, and you can certainly make your own yourself. Look up on YouTube how to do that. It's very simple. But you've got plastic aquarium hoods that have a built-in little slot for your light, and then you also have what I like, which is the glass canopies. Made of glass, 2 pieces, they fold back and forth. They're nice and heavy to keep some of your fish from popping them open and jumping out. I like these. They are a little bit more expensive, but when it comes to lids, you want your aquarium covered so that the fish don't jump out, and it also helps to control humidity in the room, so just get it covered. It really doesn't matter what it is, as long as light can shine through it. While we're on the topic of lighting, let's talk about that for a minute. You have an unbelievable amount of options when it comes to lights. If you want to keep this simple, pick one up at your pet store or click on one of the links in the description and order one from us. It's an easier way to do it rather than making your own, but if you want to make your own light, they are easy to do, and there's tons of videos out there on how to do it. The most popular light out there right now is the LEDs for the freshwater hobby. They're coming down in price. They are still a little bit more expensive than some of your basic aquarium lights. But the thing is, when you are just starting in this hobby, you want your aquarium lit. So find the best way to do it, whatever you can afford. Lighting is really important, and it's something that's going to stand out if you have a bad light down the road. So if you can afford it now, go ahead and get the most expensive one that you can afford. But if you need to skimp on it, that's fine. Just make sure your aquarium has plenty of light in it. The last thing that we're going to talk about is an air pump. Now, air pumps are not just to make bubbles come out of the pirate's chest or skull or anything like that. They actually do serve a purpose, and that is helping water flow through your tank, helping to increase the current. The more your water moves, the more oxygen is in the water. So pumps are very important. They're not required. You don't absolutely have to have one, especially if your filter is really circulating the water well, but you might as well get one. You can put a fancy air stone in there, make some bubbles, decorate your tank with it, while also helping to oxygenate the water. And there you have it. I hope that this video has helped you to understand a little bit more about the essential equipment that you're going to need to set up your first aquarium. I want to also remind you that I've put links in the description to all of these different things that I've shown you, that you can order them direct from us. Well, it's through our Amazon links, but still, you can help us out by ordering the products through those links. But understand that all of those links are for pieces of equipment that are set up for a 55-gallon aquarium. If you're getting something smaller, you might want to click those links and then pick a different type. Who knows? But make sure you're getting the right size equipment for your size tank. I hope that you've enjoyed this video, and if you have, why don't you share this video with your friends? Why don't you click the like button down there? It really does help us out a whole lot. Now, next week, folks, we're going to set this tank up. We're going to have a whole lot of fun. I'm going to demonstrate all of the different things for you. So you're going to want to subscribe to this channel so that you don't miss out on it. If you like these videos and you want to see more from me about fish keeping, all different types of stuff, I've selected a couple of videos this week to link you to that have to do with what we've been talking about. This video up here is about a canister filter, which in my opinion is the best one on the market, and that is the Fluval FX6. And if you want to see a video about marine land LED lighting, you can click right there and that'll take you right to it. Thank you so much for watching this, and I look forward to talking to you again next week.